Tissues of the body. Body organs are made of four main tissues. Epithelial tissue may be simple epithelium formed of one layer of cells. Stratified epithelium formed of several layers. Glandular epithelium possesses secretory activity. Neuroepithelium is specialized for perception of stimuli. Myoepithelium possesses contractile activity. Connective tissue consists of cells, fibers, and matrix, classified according to the nature of the matrix into general connective tissue, which may be loose or dense, and special connective tissue, which includes cartilage with rigid matrix, bone with calcified matrix, blood with fluid matrix, and hemopoietic tissues. Muscular tissue is formed of three types of muscles: striated voluntary skeletal muscle, striated non-voluntary cardiac muscle, non-striated non-voluntary smooth muscles. Nervous tissue is formed of neurons, which are composed of nerve cells and nerve fibers. There is also supporting cells called neuroglial cells and nerve endings. Connective tissue is formed of cells, fibers, and matrix. According to the nature of the matrix, connective tissue is classified into general and special connective tissue. General connective tissue is classified according to the propulsion of the matrix and whether the fibers are loosely or tightly packed into loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. Loose connective tissue is further subdivided into subtypes according to the type of fibers, cells, and propulsion of the matrix: mesenchymal connective tissue, mucoid connective tissue, loose areolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, and reticular connective tissue. Dense connective tissue, on the other hand, can be further subdivided according to the arrangement of fibers into dense regular connective tissue as white fibrous in tendons and yellow elastic in ligamentum nuchae, or dense irregular connective tissue as in capsules of organs. Slides of connective tissue. Examples of slides on general connective tissue: mucoid connective tissue in umbilical cord, an example of loose connective tissue. Yellow elastic connective tissue in ligamentum nuchae, an example of dense regular connective tissue. Mucoid connective tissue consists of undifferentiated mesenchymal cells, fibroblasts, and thin collagenous fibers embedded in a large amount of ground substance. An example, umbilical cord, appears as a smiling face with two eyes representing the two umbilical arteries and the smiling mouth, the umbilical vein. The ground substance is slightly basophilic. Mucoid connective tissue, high power, showing undifferentiated mesenchymal cells embedded in a slightly basophilic ground substance containing few fine collagenous fibers. Yellow elastic connective tissue, an example of dense regular connective tissue composed of predominant of thin branching yellow elastic fibers and fibrocytes in little amount of ground substance. An example, section of ligamentum nucleus. Slides for examples of general connective tissue. Examples of general and dense types. Both from the loose and dense types. Adipose connective tissue stained with adipose connective tissue stained with connective tissue stained with adipose connective tissue stained with hematoxylin. Areolar connective tissue stained with areolar connective tissue stained with reticular connective tissue stained with silver connective tissue from the dense type silver. White fibrous from the dense tissue in white fibrous connective with hematoxylin in and stained with adipose connective tissue stained with Sudan 3. Adipose connective tissue is a loose connective tissue in which fat cells predominate. It consists of groups of fat cells appearing orange in color with flat unstained nuclei, separated by fibrous septa. Adipose connective tissue stained with hematoxylin and eosine. Adipose connective tissue is a loose connective tissue with predominance of fat cells, appearing as empty vacuoles with flat nuclei, signet ring appearance, separated by fine collagenous fibers. Loose areolar connective tissue stained with hematoxylin and eosine. It is a loose type of connective tissue with potential cavities, having fluids or gases, and contains all types of fibers, collagen, elastic, and reticular fibers, and most types of connective tissue cells. Reticular connective tissue stained with silver. Reticular connective tissue is a loose type of connective tissue formed of network of reticular cells and fibers, and forms the stroma of organs. Reticular stroma of the liver appears dark brown and looks like radiating sun rays from the central vein. White fibrous connective tissue is a dense regular connective tissue. An example, tendon stained with hematoxylin and eosine, formed of parallel bundles of collagenous fibers surrounded by loose connective tissue. Fibrocytes, called tendon cells, are compressed between the collagenous fibers.